Last summer, I kind of had this intuitive feeling that I wanted to go to Bali, and I just knew deep down that I'm supposed to be here. And yeah, it wasn't just about taking a break, but it was really my life purpose. So that's kind of where the seed was planted. And around that time, I started to follow the program from James. I started to learn more about that, and listening to the stories really sparked something in me where I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I delved myself into learning everything about it. And then beginning of January, I took the decision like, this is it. And then it was like within 3 weeks, I was on the plane.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Behind the B&B. I am so excited to have on the show today Rosa, who is based in Bali, and she runs a beautiful Airbnb business called Roses and Stars. Rosa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Good to meet you.
It's good to have you on. I've been waiting for this interview, for a little while now. You're a very busy lady, and I'm so excited you could jump on and share a little bit about your background and your story and how you came into the Airbnb space. So the people would love to get to know who you are. So who is Rosa? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so it all started like last summer.
Mhm.
I was working at the time still 50-50, like on my own freelance business. So I did project and event management, where I was helping a lot of Ukrainian refugees. So I was hosting a lot of events for them to have a soft landing in the Netherlands. And the other 50% of my time, I divided into working for a company where I was the CEO of an app where we basically created an app that is an AI coach in helping you to communicate better. So while I was doing that, last summer, I kind of had this intuitive feeling that I wanted to go to Bali. And I just knew deep down that I'm supposed to be here. And yeah, it wasn't just about taking a break, but it was really my life purpose. So that's kind of where the seed was planted for me to take this leap of faith and move here.
That's huge. And for people wondering, where are you originally from? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in the Netherlands. Most of my life I've spent there, but I've lived all over the globe. So I've lived a bit of time in Korea, Australia, Spain, and Germany as well. So for me, moving abroad is something that I have been I haven't used to that before. But this was something completely different. But it was because it wasn't something temporarily. It was something yeah, where I would go all in. So basically, I've I've kind of within a couple of weeks, I decided to move here and sell everything, quit my job, quit my company, move or sell my furniture, and yeah, just go all in.
Wow. A lot of people would be listening to this right now and just thinking, I could never do that. Like, so how long, what was the process for you coming to that decision? Because you said in a couple of weeks, did it take you a couple of weeks to kind of pack up everything and move? Or you had been thinking about this for a while? Because it's a big move, because you feel like it is your purpose to be in Bali right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you're completely right. So it took a bit more time. So the seed was planted in last summer. So I
Mm.
started thinking about it. And around that time, I started to follow yeah, you guys' program, the program from James. And I started to learn more about that. And yeah, that listening to the stories really sparked something in me where I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I delved myself into learning everything about it. And then, so that was over the course of a couple of months. And then beginning of January, I took the decision like, this is it. And then it was like within 3 weeks, I was on the plane. So yeah, kind of moved a little bit fast, but sometimes that's the easiest. Just rip the band-aid off and just go. Don't think about it.
So true. Just make it happen. And
Yeah.
so what was that initial, like the landing in Bali? What did that look like for you in getting set up? Because obviously you needed to find a place to live first, before you hit the ground running and, to start finding properties to build your business. How was it for you when you?
Yes.
landed and made it?
Um, yeah, so the first landing was quite soft. Like I've been to Bali a couple of times
You knew it.
already. So yeah, I knew the country already, but things change rapidly here. A lot of things have been developed. So my landing was pretty soft. I first traveled around a bit to explore the different areas to see which one would be interesting for me.
Mm,
And then I kind of like built my network. So I started to build my network before coming to Bali by meeting people from the community online that have already been here, talking to agents, talking to a lot of agencies as well, people on the ground. So when I got here, there were a lot of people that I could meet up with and, expand my network. And so that's kind of where I started, like growing the network and exploring the area. That was the first weeks, basically.
very good place to start. Great. You did great there. I think it's
Thank
so
you.
important, yeah, especially for people who are, already living there. There's so much knowledge that, you can gain and glean from meeting people this way. So what sort of what did you focus on, like property networks, like people in property, in real estate, specifically because this was sort of the direction you wanted to take?
Yeah, so the people that I target were agents that basically sell the rental houses. So I would
Mhm,
speak to them. I would
mhm.
speak with people that are doing villa management as well. So I would just call them, and yeah, the people in the communities here that already have their business. For example, Maren, she has like a lot of villas here, but also some people from my own network that have already been there. So that was just very easy to slowly get in. But I also found out that it helps to be out there and show yourself because the first weeks and months, basically, I was working from 6 a.m. to 10, like full days, 7 days a week. I was just working, 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 grinding, like very, very busy. So I wasn't really out there. And at some point, it kind of shifted. And then I realized when I'm out there and I'm visible, that's where you meet people and that's where your network grows.
Exactly.
And that can be as easy as playing paddle, going to the gym. Like I've been meeting people in the sauna, for example, at the gym, just started to talk to them, or in the cafe of the gym, going to network events. And that's really sometimes more valuable than just staying at home and working from the computer.
Yeah.
Because when you know the right people, that's where you get the right connections. And that's actually how it works. So Bali is really a place of about who you know. So
Mm,
it's quite hard to get business done here. Like it's very competitive. So you have to like hustle basically. So your network is basically the most important because that is what gives you the good deals. Same as to furnish your place. Like if you know the right people, you get good deals. They can get it done fast. You have
yeah,
reliable people, trustworthy people, and that's really important here.
that's great. And how long have you lived there now? How long has it been?
So now 6 months.
6 months. And in the 6 months that you set up a whole new life in Bali, because it is setting up a new life, like you're starting a new chapter, you've also managed
Yes.
to attain a property. So you've already got one under your belt with many more to come. So for those who are like, okay, how did you get the first property? Can you share with us? Was that through the people that you knew, the network, obviously all the research you'd done? How did you come across that first one?
The first one was actually just through Facebook. So
Hmm.
a lot of deals are being done here in Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's where I met the owner. So that's how I got the first deal.
So there's owners on Facebook advertising that they want to rent out their villa as a short-term rental and looking for someone to come in and manage it. Is that?
Yeah, and I placed an ad as well. So I was adding myself in different Facebook groups, and I would just post an ad that I was looking for a property, and then lots of agents reach out to me.
Mm,
Usually they're agents, but I was just lucky. Like she had a really good deal.
mm.
So this time around, I was just really lucky.
Wow. And so where is that villa located?
So this one is in Uluwatu.
No.
So it's yeah, it's a great area. Yeah, and So what I like about her, it's a young woman. She's local, but
Mhm.
she wanted to give a good deal because she wasn't really out there to make a lot of profit on it because that's how it works here.
Mm.
She was just like, okay, I want to help another woman as well. So it's really about woman empowerment,
Oh, wow.
to make like a fair price because she
Mm.
says, I want people to have a good feeling about Bali and not being scammed or having to deal with the, the people that have like a markup on it, which is like sometimes I've seen insane prices just because they can. They ask like crazy prices.
Yeah. So you were able to get, yeah, it's amazing how you found the deal through Facebook. I guess that's just, yeah, it's just a way to it's an option. It's one way of finding and sourcing units for sure. So we'll bring up photos of this villa. And so how many
Right.
bedrooms are there?
So it's a three-bedroom home. It's brand new villa. It has a rooftop and a pool.
Mm.
And yeah, so it was brand new, but it wasn't up to a standard that we currently like. So it's been an incredible journey of doing small renovations and putting in the personal touch to make it into a really nice style.
Who did all
So
the design, by the way? Was that all you?
yeah, I did everything myself. So that was also a very interesting journey to go in it. Like at sometimes I had 14 people walking in the house and I have to like manage it, like how to get the villa to the right standard. So for example, things just go a little bit different here in Bali. So even though the villa is brand new, there were like paint splatters on the walls because they don't tape around the corners of the windows and the doors. So we
Okay.
had to like, yeah, we
So,
had to like repaint those things
oh, wow.
and bring it up to a high standard.
Yeah.
So yeah, that,
You were project
yeah,
managing, basically, but design wise, you came up with the whole design and overall look and feel that you wanted, because you've got a great brand as well, roses and stars. And I've said it before, like when we met before, in our pre-interview, I love your branding. It's
thank you so much.
yeah, you've done really great with that. So what's your, for people wondering, what was your process like step by step for designing such a beautiful space? Like, where do you start for those who are like, I need help in this area? What would
Yeah,
you,
definitely.
where did you start? What's your advice for those people doing a design fit out?
Yeah, so um, first it's looking at what you have. So it's something that we offer as well. So looking at what you have and what do you want to create. So who is your target audience and what do they want?
Right.
And what fits as well with your own brand, obviously.
Mhm.
So with my own brand, yeah, it's more than just, it's really a philosophy where we stand by. So we really wanted to create a space where we focus on intentional hospitality and where there's small details that really create the magic. So how we did that was by step by step. So first we created it to be like a up standard design. It's for families as well. So what we did, like the rooftop, um, the before and afters are just incredible because a rooftop is quite unique in Bali.
Mm,
Not a lot of people have that. You have sun all around. And because we're targeting families, we added swings to the rooftop. So that
mm,
makes it really stand out for young children. They love to play
sure.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great seating area now as well. Before it was kind of unusable because the ground was not really used. They used a kind of specific finishing that's where it wouldn't be comfortable on your feet to walk on it. So you
Mm.
basically couldn't really use the rooftop, which was a large space. So we put like artificial grass on it. So it would be a great add-on for children as well to play on. So step by step, I'd say you first look at what you have, think about the design. You'll choose a couple of colors. So we stick with our brand, with our branding, so the blue and the beige. Um, and yeah, what we also did was I added my brand on almost every touch point that's possible. So I don't see that quite often, but we added it on the cushions.
Mm,
We added it on the soaps. There's like a small card when you welcome to the villa. We put like roses on the bed, so the whole guest experience
yeah.
is leading to the total concept. And I think that's what you need to think about as well. Like, what kind of concept and what kind of feeling do you want your guests when they enter and when they leave?
Yeah.
So that's also why, yeah, I always suggest to clients as well to stay in their own villa or the company that it's going to manage it, have them stay for a couple of days so they really experience what is it like to live there, how does it feel, what do you need, what is missing,
Mm.
and yeah, to create a whole story around the villa so it's more than just your villa, it's an experience.
Beautifully put. I'm like, yep, everything, yep. Nail on the head, experience, the feeling. And I love that advice at the end of encouraging if you can stay in it yourself or get someone else, a friend who can give you honest feedback about what it's really like, because it's
Yeah,
about
that would
building.
help as well.
Yeah, because you want 5-star reviews from the outset. As soon as those guests start booking your villa, you want the top reviews, and because it's just going to get
100%.
at the end of the day. So
It
that's great.
does. Like so far, we only got 5-star reviews, and we
Didn't
have
expect any
95%
less.
occupancy rate.
Expect any less.
Yes, and people they want to come back. So I think it's really about going that extra mile. Like even last week, there was a girl. She was having her sweet 16, so we came to the villa and surprised her with some flowers.
Oh, how
Uh,
beautiful.
Yeah, so it's about small things and being very attentive and see what can you do per guest to make their stay special so
Yeah.
that it's be rememberable.
That's great. I love that. I love that. So you've got this property Airbnb business that you're building up on the side, but you also specialize in branding. And did you say design fit out as well? So talk about some of the other offers that you have as part of your Roses and Stars business, because I love this about you.
Thank you. Yeah, there are a lot of clients that reach out as well. So we have a variety of clients that we help with their rentals and buying villas. Um, and some of them, they ask specifically for branding advice and how to strategically put the brand in a market and how to do the marketing as well. So for some clients, there is a client that has four villas with four bedrooms. So we help them to set that up, and yeah, they're doing great. Like their first post hit like 160 likes. I was like, wow, that's quite impressive. Like they haven't even started yet and
Yeah.
already got such a huge interaction with their following. So that's great. And we do that as well, working on that for a boutique hotel in Ubud.
Mm. A
Um,
bit of social media content creation and advisory services that you're offering as well.
Yeah, it's an add-on service. So we actually also do the complete photo shoot as well to create the right content and to make reels. The last photo shoot we had like two models and then a photographer and a UGC content creator to make sure you need the right content as well
That's right.
to create. Yeah, you have to work with the good materials to create reels and posts that are effective.
Mm.
So
That's
we'll
smart.
set that up and help them. Yeah, because a lot of clients they don't live here and they don't have the network or they don't understand social media. So that's where we also offer that as a service.
Mm, that's brilliant. Yeah, we'll bring up your website. We'll bring up Instagram as well. And what I also love is obviously through your network. You talked about the importance of this. Is you work very closely with some other people as well, and collaborate with
Yes.
them too, don't you?
Yeah, even right now, so there are some clients I have them they want to sell this like $1 million 7-bedroom house. They have it up for sale for like over a year and they just came to me. It's like, Rosa, I really need help with this sale of the house. And so there's this girl that I know from my network, and she hosts events. So I was like, what if we like put an event in your villa? Because this event draws in a lot of entrepreneurs and
Mm,
people with the right network. So we can host the event. The people that join the event, they just talk about business and networking. So they'll post about your villa, so you get like extra attention.
Mm.
And then possibly potential buyers join the event as well because it's that kind of group that you want. So yeah, we're doing that actually in a couple of weeks. So
Yeah, they didn't
yeah.
offer it up for you to rent out to
Um,
the short-term rent. No, I'm joking. If they've been trying to sell it, they definitely don't
Yeah,
want
they're trying to sell it.
you.
Yeah, so they basically build it for themselves, and then they realize like, oh, we actually want to live somewhere else, so they're renting it out now themselves. It's going pretty great, but I just need some help to get an extra push.
Yeah,
So I offer that as well, or I have a network of influencers that can stay in the villa as well to give some extra promotion.
yeah. This is a huge thing that I think not a lot of people are onto, or they're not sure like how to. But well, first of all, they don't even know that it exists. Like the influencer industry and how much that can market your property as well. You know, oftentimes, like you can share about this because you're actually utilizing these people to market and showcase. You know, whether it be a villa to market as
Definitely.
an Airbnb or to sell it. You know, how does that work for someone who is thinking, oh, I could actually market my property a little bit more? Um, you know, maybe give them a little bit of insight into how this could work for them.
Yeah, it's a great way as well to fill up the empty spaces. So what happens quite often is with these influencers, they want to stay or they'll stay. You can do a barter deal. So they'll stay there for a couple of nights, usually 2 or 3 nights, and in return, they'll give you content and they'll post about your property as well. So it's kind of a win-win. So you'll fill up the empty spot, like you're not making money anyway, but in return, you get a lot of marketing. So it's basically free marketing and you have the content as well. So they'll deliver um, usually, well, it depends on the deal you make, but usually you get a reel or maybe more. You get some pictures, and if you're lucky, maybe some drone footage.
Mm,
You can just negotiate, and they'll post on their own feed as well. So you can either reach out to them, and what I find is when you start working with influencers, they'll find you as well
mm,
because they see they kind of see that on the influencers their feed, they see, oh, another influencer was at the villa, and then they'll reach out to you, and then it just goes quite
yeah,
naturally from there. So then you
yeah.
can kind of pick and choose which one fits to your branding.
Which is great because yeah, it's like you said. Would you let them stay there for free, or are you charging them like a discounted rate?
This time around, I let them stay for free. That was, yeah, it was just 1 night, and yeah, I
Exchange.
had a gap day anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another time I had it as well. My villa was not even live. So I was in the process of getting it live. So I couldn't even charge money yet because still furniture was coming in. So I
Mm,
was already having influencers stay in the villa and I just asked them to post 1 week later. They had
mm,
like 100,000 followers. So they just stayed there for free, but it was like semi ready.
mm.
So I was like, yeah, I can't really charge anything for that. And normally of influence with 100,000 followers, that's very costly to ask even one post, maybe even 5,000 euros.
Yeah, usually.
So
So yeah, how do you
yeah.
manage that though, you know, in terms of I guess conditions, terms and conditions? Do you have, you know, rules and like on parties, or like how can you set things up in such a way that you protect yourself from, say, some of these influencers who could potentially come in and have a party, and you know, I don't know, like is there a set like guideline that you use for them as well and get them to sign something, or just not at all? Is it just more like relationship building and just being professional? Like how do you make that work?
Yeah, well, some of them I know personally, so then you kind of know what kind of people you're getting in.
Got
But if you
trust.
don't know the person, yeah, yeah, what we did is we run a background check on them. So obviously we'll check all the socials. They'll send a lot of links and we'll run a background check on the person that you're letting into your villa, and we'll ask them as well to send their passports.
Mm,
But you could also ask them to make a deposit to ensure yourself that if they would break something, you still have this security. So you have their passports, you have their IDs. That's what we always do anyway. If you have direct bookings, I'll always ask for a passport and a deposit. So
mm,
this is kind of like a direct booking, but then there's no payment unless you just do the discount rate, which
yeah.
is also an option. It kind of depends on your villa. If you have like a very luxurious villa that has a highly nightly rate,
Mm,
it also depends on their followers. Like if they have a lot of followers, then you might not want to do that. But if they don't have a lot of followers, they might be interested in a discount.
mm,
Um, so it's kind of tailor made, and it's also what are you comfortable with?
yeah.
How how far are you willing to go, basically?
Yeah, yeah, that's some great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think you obviously have a background in having run events and organize, all sorts of like workshops and things. And so that's very much your background and your strength. And so I think that advice that you've given can be really helpful to some people who want to obviously market their property more, but they're like, okay, so I can have a website, I can have social media, but then, another level is now getting influencers with, as you said, 100,000 followers. And if they put even just a reel out there, the amount of exposure you can potentially get equals bookings,
Yeah,
isn't it? It equals, yeah, just more business. So how
yeah.
are you finding your property in Uluwatu and its performance over the past? How long have you had it listed now? Because you've lived there for almost 6 months, but then how long have you had the villa?
So it's now up for 4 months,
Yeah,
and like I said, it's performing really great. We're guest favorite, only 5-star ratings so far. People coming back, people extending their stays, 95% occupancy rate.
I
So
was going to ask
I
that.
couldn't
Yeah.
really have asked for more. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. And in terms of, I guess it's still too early to kind of gauge what your profit is. If you're making anything, you haven't broken even yet. It's probably still too early days. You know,
Yeah,
yeah. Can you share a little bit on that? Or you've had to pay rent up front, right? So with this one?
yeah. So in Bali, usually you'll pay 1 year or more years upfront.
Mm,
But also on this deal, it's quite unusual, but I got a really good price, and I got the payment plan for pay every 6 months, so that's better for my cash flow. But
mm,
as I said, the villa it was a brand new villa, but I still had to invest. For example, we had to redo the rooftop, and
rooftop.
I had to buy some furniture. So I had to make that money like back and like from the revenue that I gain. But yeah, I
Mm,
think right now we're at the point where we already break even. Now it's just from here on, it's just about profit making.
mm.
So yeah, it's really good.
That's good. That's great. And you're also exploring management opportunities, or you're managing a few villas as well. Is that right?
Yeah, so I there are several clients that I help in management, and a lot of them as well, people from the Netherlands that I help in acquiring villas, so they want to invest. So currently there are some people from the Netherlands, but also from other countries, and a lot of clients come as well to sell their villas. So the business is kind of expanding. Like I started as a short-term rental, and now it's like helping other people to basically make their dreams come true. And it's just like, and the branding as well, like you said, like yeah, it's just um,
What a
growing.
cool opportunity you've got going on, because you set out to move to Bali to start out this
hmm
short-term rental business, and then you're just an entrepreneur, aren't you? You've got a few things, a few different things going on. And how has it come about that the people based in Netherlands are reaching out to you? Is that again through friends, and it's just again your network and knowing, yeah, just people in the Netherlands who obviously want to, are they buying property there, or are they wanting to do a similar thing where rent to sublet? How's that all come together for you?
Well, some I just know from my network.
Mm,
They just notice that I'm in Bali and they just ask me like, hey, I'm interested in like buying a villa. Do you happen to know someone? And that's basically where I said like, oh, you know what? I could help you with that.
yeah.
Because usually when I talk to people here as well, either they know someone or they are the person, even in Bali itself, like that either they want to find a living for themselves
Mm,
to stay there for a couple of months,
yeah.
or they bought a villa and they need help with management, or they need help with selling, or they're looking to acquire property, or they. So it's usually when you talk to someone, there is always like one of these options
Mm.
at some point that arises. So that's just where we discuss. Like, there's also a client of mine. He's from the UK, and he wants to open a bar here. So I'm trying to find a piece of land here for him.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Have you got a PA?
yeah.
You've got someone helping you. You've got
Yeah,
a few.
I have a great team. I have a great team, so that helps.
Yeah.
My team is also what really builds the brand. Like, I've put a lot of thought into who I want to have on the team, and I put a lot of time and effort into training them, and they've been such a help because it's hard to find loyal people.
Mm,
But what I did is, um, so I hired them, and then we worked together, and I help them as well. Like, how can you grow? Because currently, I work with a lot of young women, so the brand is quite feminine. That's
mm,
also what you'll see in the villas. Like, you'll see a lot of paintings from women, basically. And here in Bali, I want to have these women to have opportunities as well to grow in their careers. So what I did, like per job position, we created a growth ladder for them. So I just have a sit down with them and I show them, these are all the steps you need to take to go into the next level. So once you manage all these steps in the first stage, we can get you up to the second level, and then the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. And that's something that's not something they're used to. The first time I had a sit down with them, they thought I was gonna fire them, even though up front they were so scared. Even though up front I said 3 times, like, this is just for you to grow and to voice your needs and to tell me everything is confidential. Just
mm.
share with me, what do you like? What do you need? Where do you want to grow in? And they were so surprised. I was like, we don't know this, but they
Wow.
were very happy. They were like, they loved to work for this company, and yeah, they show me every day. Like, even the first booking we had, we were all like jumping around and celebrating. We were like celebrating the wins, and
That's
yeah, I
cool.
also put like, yeah, it's really nice to have a team that is that we were all focused on the same goal. And I also set some goals, like team effort goals. So
Mm,
for example, when we reached guest favorite, that's when I said like, oh, when we reach guest favorite, we'll all go out for a nice dinner.
mm.
So like those kind of things as well, to create a sense of community, and like, yeah, where we can grow together, because we're all making an effort, like from the pool guy to the cleaners to the villa managers. um it's if one of them doesn't like do a good job, we don't get the 5-star review,
Yeah.
basically. So we'll all do it together.
You're a great leader by the sound of it. You're building a beautiful business where you place value on the people that are working for you. And, I think when you do that, there's no limits to where you can go and how big you can take this thing, really. So I think
Yeah.
well done. And I was thinking, it's a funny thing because when you initially sat them down and you're saying they thought they were going to get fired, so I'm
Yeah.
they're probably not used to having someone say that to them and say, oh, I want to, you can voice your opinions, and I'll hear you out, and there's room for growth. I can't imagine that that is something that is happening on the regular, for because it's the locals, isn't it, that you're working with to manage
Yeah,
a villa, to clean the villa, like you said, the pool guy. And so I just love that
yeah,
about you, and that you're, placing so much value on your team, because they will do anything for you, and including getting that
that's
guest
true.
favorite. Yeah.
Yes, and it's I want to give them the opportunity as well to learn. So even the one of my cleaners, Sophia, she's amazing, and she wants to grow. But for her, in order to take it to the next level, her English should be
Mm,
yeah, up to a fluent level. She can speak English, but so we
mm,
got her English classes as well. So we sat it down and then we talked like, hey, what do you want? And yeah, I mean, at some point she can do guest check-in and check-out, for example, or she can be the head of cleaners, but that means that a basic level of English is required as well.
mm,
So we're getting there, we're getting her ready to grow to that level, and that's what the girls love as well about working together, because they see the vision, and it's like when we grow, when the business grows, they grow.
yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. You're building something really special by the sounds of it. So kudos, well done. And yeah, what's your I'm really interested to know your take on, I guess, leadership. Where do you learn this from? Because this doesn't just come out of, it doesn't just spring out of like thin air. Like, you're obviously reading, you're listening to things, because there's leadership that is obviously very evident here, in terms of what you're sharing, and how you want to build your business. So where does that come from?
That's a very interesting question. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, it's a mix of I have a background, I have my MBA, so obviously we learned a thing or two about management as well in school. And before this, like in my career, I was always like kind of like I was also a bit looking around, like I had a lot of different jobs.
Mm,
And sometimes I had really bad management, and I've seen both sides. So I had really bad management and I experienced really good management. So sometimes it was even the reason why I left the company.
yeah.
And I think because I've seen, and I worked in so many different companies in different positions, that's where I got to see and learn from management, what
Mm,
works and what doesn't work. And the last company I worked, yeah, the management there was just insanely good.
mm,
And that's what really made the company, and it was a community. So it was a learning and development company. So what they did, they'll teach you and corporates about how to be good leaders. So they'll teach you how to have influential communication. So how to communicate on a positive way and still reach your goals.
mm,
And I learned a lot from that as well. Like that last experience was just incredible. And besides that, obviously, I'll listen to podcasts, read a lot of self-development books as well. Because to me, your job is a place where you'll be there. I mean, in Bali, it's sometimes even 6 days a week.
yeah.
But usually, let's say 3 to 6 days a week, you'll be there. So it's a big part of your day to day, and of your who you are as a person. So if you're not happy, then you feel miserable, and it's a balance, like work, your private life, but also your work life. Like it goes both ways.
Mm,
So for me, what I have an influence on with my employees is how they feel when they are in the company. And I just looked at, okay, how do I like to be treated? What is important to me? And that's what I want them to feel as well, because it's such a thing that it's being overlooked
mm,
in a lot of companies, which is such a shame, because I think it's just about like having that conversation and listening to your people, and in return you get so much value.
Yeah.
you'll know like where they want to grow in, and if you can bring them to that position, that's just amazing to see that growth as well in a person. That's also something I really thrive on. I like people to grow. So that's combining like different values that I put in the company as well. It's about the management, but also about the way we do run the villas, the whole guest experience. Like we put a lot of thought in that.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it really comes from the heart, basically.
Yeah. And obviously a wealth by the sounds of it of experience as well and what you've been exposed to, in terms of your background and like you said, what you've learned in terms of leadership and communication. It's all part of building a successful business, and I think some
Yeah,
people forget the people part. And I've used this quote before by Simon Sinek. I don't know if I say his name,
yeah,
but he says if
yeah. I know what you mean.
yeah. He says if you don't understand people, you don't understand business. And I think it's from a couple of different angles because it's people that you're obviously that your target audience and the people that you want to reach with your business. But then even more importantly, it's the people who were in your business that are building your empire and how you're not them just building your business, but how you're building into them. And so I love that you've got opportunities for them to grow, and I think it's just brilliant. It's a great example of
Yeah,
how to build a well-rounded business when you've got people involved and people working for you as well. So that's great. So what
yeah.
I would then now ask, what are your plans going forward? What's the future looking like for Roses and Stars? Like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to take things?
So this year is focused on expanding the business. So the goal is within 1 year to have 5 of my own villa managements that are just owned by the brand.
Mm,
So currently, I'm already looking into the next project, but it's gonna be something different. So I like to change it up a little bit. The variety also fits me. So the one I'm looking at right now is an 8 bedroom, but it's a co-living space.
okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's something different. So what this
Makes sense
this
for
property
Bali.
has,
Yeah.
yeah, it's perfect because it has all separate rooms,
Mm,
and there is a working space. So a lot of
right.
digital nomads can live there long term. So it's a little different setup. But they even have a podcast studio. There's a gym there and a rooftop. So I was like, okay, I would like to add that to my like
Portfolio.
list as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
that's yeah, we're quite far down now. In yeah, seeing where it goes, and if everything goes to plan, we'll start within 1 month because it's being renovated. So that will be the next one, and then I'll just go from there, take it one thing at a time, and yeah, on the sides I'll still just focus on like expanding and growing and yeah, helping clients and maybe even move to a different country, who knows?
you just
Not me, but like expanding the business.
all the business to another
Yeah,
country in terms of yeah,
yeah,
lifestyle
growing internationally.
model. I was like, hang on, you just moved to Bali. Um,
Yeah,
I love that. And what an opportunity. I really hope this all works out. Or you're saying it's quite far down the track. It looks like it's going to go ahead, the 8 bedroom villa.
yes, yeah, it's quite exciting. I had ocean and rice field view, so
Uluwatu as
yeah, it's
well,
really
or
good.
somewhere else?
No, this one is near Canggu.
Okay, great. Prime
Yeah,
location. Yeah. But it's like you
yeah,
said,
definitely.
the culture over there is very much yeah, digital nomads. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what percentage of people who live there are digital nomads. I don't know if you know what the stats are on that.
I wouldn't know the percentages. I mean, from living there versus local, I'm not sure. You still have a lot of local people coming in from Java and the other islands because when they're local, they usually do business and then you need locals because
Mm,
they're not allowed to work here.
yeah.
So for example, if you run a business, you'll need like maybe 5 local people to help you. So the workforce is really great. But
Mm.
yeah, before high season, I met, I think 95% of the people that I met are digital nomads. So that's a great place as well for, that's also one of the reasons that I chose Bali, because Bali is great for networking. There are a lot of people that live here long term, and usually when you live here long term, you're either doing your business online, like
Mm.
working for a company,
Yeah.
or you have your own business. You're an entrepreneur. So a lot of people you'll meet, they have very interesting stories, or they've also come to the same decision to leave where they were and come here. So it's
Mm.
yeah, from that sense of this aspect, you'll always share something in common because you've gone through that process of leaving
Mm.
what you know behind, which
Yeah.
can be quite scary.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, it's a step in the right direction for you, being there and with, like I only get a little bit of insight into, I love that you said you're meant to be there. It's purposeful, the reason being that
Yeah.
you moved there in the first place. And I can see how that is coming together for you in the bits that you have shared, even in terms of building a business the way that you are. And I think the way that you are instilling values and helping people grow, and it's local people as well. You're providing opportunity for the people who are Balinese people as well, and it's just such an opportunity there for you to continue to build upon, and it's brilliant. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on and being so open and sharing everything that you're building out there. But yeah, even more so, all the advice and the value that you've brought for people who are watching this and wanting to get started in Airbnb and maybe even potentially Bali and hearing a little bit about how to do it over there. So are there any final thoughts that you would like to share for anyone who maybe hasn't started, and they're thinking about getting started, but they're not sure or they're still on the fence? How would you speak to those people or encourage them if they're there?
And just do it.
What have you
Yeah, that
got?
that's really what, yeah, honestly, like obviously do your due diligence. I've done that as well, but for me it was an intentional thing. Really, I felt it in the core of my heart, but I did some research. Like, is Bali the right place? Like, I looked into different countries as well, compared them, but the numbers add up.
Mm,
So for me, it was Bali. Maybe for the listeners, it might be a different country, but I think if it's a place where you might want to live as well, it should be a place where you would also like to live. I mean, I think that's important. But I think it's just do it. Just take
mm,
that leap of faith and just try it. Because if you don't try, what is the worst that can happen? You can always go back.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and that's what I usually do with a lot of decisions. Usually when I think it's scary, I just like kind of not think about it and just go.
You're very brave young woman, and I'm honestly inspired by everything that you are building at such a young age too, and just how switched on you are, business wise, leadership wise. And I think you're only just getting started, Rosa. You are only just getting started. And I cannot wait to see, what more you're going to accomplish. I'm really excited to see this 8-bedroom villa as well, this co-living villa that you're working on. So maybe I'll have to, like, when we go to Bali next, maybe we can use that podcast studio and we'll be like, we're sitting in Rosa, like it'll be interviewing you, of course.
For sure.
Update with Rosa from Roses and Stars, like where are things at for you now? And then you can be like, well, we're sat in this podcast studio, or maybe it's your own podcast studio business, who knows? But
Who knows by then I also run a podcast. I don't know.
why
But yeah,
not?
you're definitely welcome. Yeah. I actually talked about this with some other people that might be interested. So
Yeah,
who
I mean,
knows?
this is the thing, right? When you start to meet people, especially in a network, um, you meet so many interesting people and you're like, oh my gosh, you have such an incredible story. I want people to know this. I want people to be inspired by this, especially when you're in the business realm, when you're an entrepreneur. You know, like in our case, it's the incredible stories of our students and our coaches in our community, and we want to get more of that out there. I often joke with James, I'm like,
Yeah.
surely people are sick of seeing our faces all the time on your socials. Let's do this podcast and get all your students and coaches sharing their stories. But yeah, thank,
Yeah, for
thank you so much.
sure. So everyone has their stories, and that's what I really like about your podcast as well, because everyone has a great story,
Yeah,
and that's just also why you live by, like
this is it.
creating stories and
Mhm.
listening to other people's to inspire you.
Exactly. Exactly right. So, yep, I know plenty of people who will be listening to this and who've been so inspired by hearing you. So again, thank you, and
You're welcome.
yeah,
Thank
really
you.
on. So, for those of you watching, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Behind the B&B. As always, I hope that you got a lot of value. There was so much value in this episode. So how could you not have? So don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and tune in next week for the next episode. Who will it be? We do not know, but you'll want to tune in. So thanks again for watching.